There is a new report out showing that most of the world's wealth that was created in 2017 overwhelmingly went to the richest Americans. Oxfam International, and not just the richest Americans, by the way, but the richest people all over the world. But I'm going to focus on America. Now, Oxfam International, who did this study and created this report, estimates that over 80%, 82% to be exact, of the gains in the economy went towards the top 1%. Now, the study released ahead of the World Economic Forum in Davos. Now, in Davos, of course, they always talk about income inequality as a defining issue of our age, and yet, for some reason, nothing seems to come from it. We just continue to do the same thing over and over again, cut taxes, deregulation, and don't actually solve the problem of income inequality at all. So it seems like the forums in Davos aren't really all that useful. Yes, we know the problem. Yes, the richest people in America and all over the world know the problem, and they're doing the complete opposite of what it takes to actually solve the problem. So, but anyway, I'm going to give you more information about this. Now, this study, this report, was produced using data from Credit Suisse's Global Wealth Data Book. Now, Oxfam said, hey, look, this shows that the trend of the global economy is skewed in favor of the rich, rewarding wealth instead of work. Again, this is something that I think to many of you is no surprise whatsoever. Absolutely. For most of my life, all I could remember is the economy being skewed towards people who already have all the money. And so, again, this isn't a surprise. Now, Winnie Byanyima, executive director for Oxfam International, said on this new report, she said, the billionaire boom is not a sign of a thriving economy, but a symptom of a failing economic system. Again, this is no surprise. Yes, predatory capitalism is failing. Non-regulated capitalism is failing. You know what isn't failing? Social democracy. You know, what they have in Norway. In Norway, the Nordic system is set up on a social democracy. And what they do is that they have, yes, capitalist markets, but they also have strong socialism. So it's a mixed market system, strong, elements of strong socialism, including safety nets, higher wages, free health care, universal education that doesn't cost anything or actually costs very little. All those things are a strong underpinning for any society. America is falling apart. We don't have those strong underpinnings. That's why. That's why America right now, I mean, like if you ask Norway, for example, Donald Trump got in trouble for calling African nations and Haiti and El Salvador shithole countries. Well, you ask Europeans, especially people in Norway and some of the happiest countries on earth, you ask them what the shithole is, they're going to look at America. I mean, we're not the last when it comes to happiness or economic mobility. We're somewhere in the middle. But for as wealthy as this country actually is, and how much of an economic powerhouse we are, we should not be in those rankings. We have all this money. We have an allocation problem, okay? It's not that we don't have enough money. It's not that we're not having enough income. It's that we're spending it on the wrong things. We spend $611 billion on military spending. We don't spend we don't spend nearly that much on healthcare for Americans. We're the only industrialized nation that doesn't guarantee healthcare for all of its citizens under a single-payer system. That's insanity. That's insanity. And, of course, all of that leads to economic inequality. Again, deregulation, not guaranteeing a welfare system that is strong enough to support people in need. And a lot of our welfare systems, unfortunately, are co-opted into being basically just a giant system of corporate welfare. And so, for example, the food stamp system, the fact that we don't have a living wage for minimum wage workers, well, the food stamp system basically goes into Walmart. These workers, they sign up for these programs, they sign up for Medicaid, they sign up for food stamps, and so Walmart can look at it, can look at this and go, oh, well, since the government does not require us to pay a living wage, Well, guess what? We're going to underpay our employees and let the government take care of them. Corporate welfare, because they save billions of dollars. Millions of dollars on raising wages. But anyway, so the report, look, another surprise, the rich get richer. And guess what? Something that is also unsurprising, 2017, one of the warmest years on record. So the rich get richer, the climate again gets fucked over, and again, not a surprise, right? Now, did you get richer? No, absolutely you didn't. Oh, but Jeff, what about the tax cuts? The tax cuts haven't gone into effect yet for everybody. We're going to have a higher paycheck and everything. And what about our bonuses? I love that. Fox News did a segment about people that received this bonus. And they asked, they said, well, the Democrats characterize this as getting crumbs. Are you happy with your crumbs? And they're like, yeah, we actually are. The people that did get a bonus, they're like, we're happy to accept whatever crumbs the rich tend to feed us off the table. That is, look, in our country, that's like normal. In any other country, they would be up in arms. Like, how dare you give us your table scraps? But we've been beaten down so long that that's what we expect. And we're actually happy when we're actually given just a little bit off the table of the rich. It's disgusting what we have. I mean, that bonus, if you were even able to get one, for example, Walmart gave out bonuses to people $1,000. You would only get $1,000 if you were there for 20 years. So this is literally change in their pocket. It's loose change. It's table scraps. They're going to save billions of dollars. Another example, Bank of America, right? Their bonuses will cost about $145 million. That is about 4% of the $3.5 billion that Goldman Sachs estimates that Bank of America will receive from the tax cut. From the tax cut alone, this isn't involving revenue for the year. This is just savings from the tax cut. And they're like, yeah, let's give 4% of it to our employees in the form of bonuses. Then we can seem like we're the nice guys and get all sorts of credit for this. And then we're going to credit Donald Trump. And then we can all say, oh, look at that, tax cuts for the rich. They work. They make people more wealthy. Look at all the bonuses and things like that. This is nothing more than bullshit propaganda, PR. That's what this move was. They're not raising wages. Yes, there are some companies out there that actually are raising wages. Most likely they had been planning to do so anyway, or were forced by state and local governments who actually pass minimum wage increases. They've been forced to also raise their wages. So, hey, congratulations. No, this does not prove that trickle-down is effective. No, it does not prove that it works. But anyway, as far as wage increases go, those actually are more effective. They actually do help the American worker far more. And again, most companies aren't actually doing that. And of course, the effect of all this wealth going to the 1% is, look, we have more income inequality, right? Now, it's funny because some people might have actually voted for Trump because they believe that he would, I don't know, actually help income inequality. I know, it's laughable, but I think some people did believe it. I know mostly a big predictor of voting for Trump is racial resentment, but I think some people out there said, yeah, well, he's going to help. He's an outsider, he's a businessman, he's going to help boost my wages. Well, what happened? You're not getting a wage boost. Yes, you're getting a very small tax cut, but guess what? That tax cut is temporary. It goes away, while the corporate tax cuts are there forever. From 35% to 21%. That is permanent. And again, these companies are going to stuff most of that into their pockets. So congratulations, that is not going to trickle down to you. Look, here's the thing, right? Trump is barely an outsider, but he's somebody who wants desperately to be an insider. And you know who the insiders are? The 1%. Because they control the system. So under him, under Trump and the Republicans, we have given $1.5 trillion to the richest Americans in the form of tax cuts. And look, if you think the Democrats are actually doing anything about it, no, they're complicit as well. They're not working on fixing income inequality. They had times when they were in control of Congress in order to do something about it. And what did they do? Fuck all. They didn't do anything about this. And yes, there was some obstruction by the Republicans, but for the most part, issues pertaining to income inequality, raising wages and things like that, the Democrats didn't do anything about. And some Democrats are more than happy to work with the Republicans to cut corporate taxes because that's their donors. They work for the same people. There's only a handful of true progressives that are in Congress right now that actually give a shit about fixing the real issue. And so, look, income inequality right now has gotten to a crisis point. We are at a crisis point. We are past a crisis point here. Okay, the last time income inequality was this large, we had a depression. We had the Great Depression, right? Not just a recession like in 2008, full-on depression. We had regular people that were suffering, that were hurt badly. But you know what came out of that? A New Deal. Now, the hope is, my personal hope is that we don't have to go through all that pain in order to get to a good point afterwards, in order to get to a new deal or a new deal. But the way that it's going, look, unless we get people who are progressive into office, we go to the polls at 2018, 2020, and actually put up real progressives, or we fight for real progressives to be put on the ballot, then unfortunately, pain is what we're going to get. So again, I hope that we can actually get progressives into office that will actually fight to reduce the levels of income inequality and help regular working people. But really, that's up to you guys. That's up to the voters. And I hope the voters make the right decision and actually vote for real progressives. Without it, we're never going to fix this problem. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.